If you are new to this series, we have been going through every single national title claim in college football history for the FBS or highest level at the time it was claimed. At this time, we have covered all of the one-time and two-time champions, and are moving on to the threes and beyond. Please go back and watch those for me after this if you enjoy this sort of thing. From here, some teams will still be lumped together and some will get their own depending on how much of an argument I feel is needed. So, let's get chronic. Prior to the college football playoffs and BCS national title game, we relied only on the polls to determine the college football national champion, with some formulas and short-lived systems in between attempting to better things. The polling system failed many times, with as many as 4 to 6 teams in contention that never even played each other. This often resulted in many split national championship years. Prior to 1965, some polls voted on their national champions before the bowl games were even played, and then saw their champion lose their final game. If you go back a little further, the first attempt to straighten things out came in 1936 with the creation of the AP poll, and was often the most respected poll for many years. But even then, the early media had their biases and favorites due to what they were familiar with. If all the writers and voters only saw Notre Dame or Yale, they would have no way to compare it to what was going on down south or out west, and usually just sided with what they knew. Prior to the AP, we had a wild, lawless 67 years of college football where many or no teams called themselves national champions, and a lot of those teams didn't even claim national titles in this era until more modern polls went back and retroactively named them national champions. Are you confused yet? You should be. While the AP poll is often the benchmark for a champion from 1936 to 1998, I would still argue that point. If the AP named you champion and nobody else did, that smells a bit fishy. Personally, I tend to side with what a majority of the polls say. So if the AP says you are the champ, but 11 others don't, I look deeper into the situation. And that's just me. You are free to do or think whatever you like.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
And of course, I view any titles won through the playoffs or BCS title game as automatically 100% legit from the start of the video, even if you disagree with the selection committee. And yes, I have also disagreed with them plenty of times. On the flip side, any that claim a separate title outside of those official parameters I view as complete bullshit, whether the selection committee screwed said team or not. History is history, and I respect that fact even if I dislike that fact. For the purposes of this channel, I'm only going by what the school actually claims. I will do a series covering unclaimed titles later on. I have added a layer to my tiers and now broken them down into 5 sections. 100% legit, debatable but fair, I see your argument but no, complete bullshit, and introducing 1941 Alabama, which will be reserved for the most imaginary or dumb claims that exist. It's all about the U, or at least it once was, but to their credit, the Miami Hurricanes have put themselves back into national title contention, having fallen just short in the 2025 national title game. Maybe they are no longer as feared as they once were in the 80s, 90s, or even early 2000s, but they are contenders no less. But we'll talk about the future outlook at the end. For now, we're going to have a look at the 5 national title claims and see just how legit they are. Which is going to be pretty legit if memory serves me correctly, before I start digging into the research. Remember, no unclaimed until a later series. Let's grab the sunblock, tequila, and whatever else Michael Irvin wants to bring, and check out these 5 claims to fame. Miami was historically mid to below average for a good portion of its history, but then came the 1980s and head coach Howard Schnellenberger, a 20-year assistant and very short-tenured head coach for the Colts. By year 2 in 1980, he had turned Miami into a threat, and by 1983, it was go time. The Hurricanes had to fight back from a Game 1 loss to number 16 Florida 28-3 to get some respect. After winning the next 3, including a 20-0 stomping of number 13 Notre Dame, the Canes rose to a number 15 ranking. From there, the team won out with a key win over number 12 West Virginia 20-3 and edged out rival Florida State 17-16 in the regular season finale. Miami entered the Orange Bowl, how convenient, to play number 1 and undefeated Nebraska ranked number 5 themselves. In an all-time classic, the Huskers' comeback fell just short, failing a 2-point conversion attempt to give Miami the 31-30 win. You honestly have to respect Nebraska putting it all on the line to avoid a tie, which would likely have still gotten them the title. But hey, this video is about Miami. The Canes finished 11-1 with the consensus national title crown. Number 7 Georgia beat number 2 Texas in the Cotton Bowl, and unranked UCLA blasted number 4 Illinois in the Rose Bowl. This left number 3 Auburn, who had beaten number 8 Michigan 9-7 in the Sugar Bowl, and Miami left standing. Both teams claimed the 1983 national championship. But as I mentioned a moment ago, Miami won over the more prestigious and the majority. In my Auburn video, I said their claim was debatable but fair. I stand by this, as Auburn's only loss came against number 3 Texas, and their pre-bowl ranking was higher. They also played 6 ranked teams going 5-1, while Miami played 4, going 3-1. 5 of those ranked matchups for Auburn were also top 8 teams. So even all these months later to dwell on it, I can't discredit Auburn for that feat. With that said, you also have to respect Miami rebounding from a Week 1 loss and ending the season by beating a phenomenal Nebraska team who was one decision away from tying the game to win the title themselves. Despite me giving Auburn some love here, I think you have to ultimately side with the consensus and call Miami 100% legit. So to be clear, Miami is top dog, but I don't have an issue with Auburn staking a claim as well, to a very slightly lesser degree. After the 1983 season, Coach Snell made a questionable career move to become part owner of a short-lived USFL team, then later bounced around a few schools with little success. If he had stayed at Miami, who knows? The next man up did a pretty good job too. Rest in peace, Coach. One of my favorite coaches of all time, Jimmy Johnson, stepped in and had his chances in 1985 and 86, but fell short. So, he damn sure wasn't going to in 1987. The Hurricanes began the season at number 10 and proceeded to get by everyone, including dominating wins over number 20 Florida 31-4, number 10 Arkansas 51-7, and number 10 Notre Dame 24-0, with close clutch wins over number 4 Florida State 26-25 and number 8 South Carolina 20-16. Miami entered the Orange Bowl, convenient again, ranked number 2 to face his old mentor Barry Switzer and number 1 Oklahoma. With the game tied after the half, the Hurricanes scored 13 straight and held on for the 20-14 win. This one is easy at 100% legit. Miami was named consensus national champions, and nobody else even tries to claim this one. The following year, Miami had a shot but lost by 1 point to Notre Dame in the Catholics versus Convicts showdown. The Irish went on to win it all at 12-0. Following that season, Jimmy Johnson left for the Dallas Cowboys, where things went mostly well for a few years at least. Dennis Erickson stepped into a wonderful situation after going 12-10-1 in 2 seasons at Washington State. And to be fair, he never fumbled the program in his 6 seasons. In 1989, the team started out ranked number 3 and started off 6-0 against unranked competition from around the country to enter the FSU game ranked number 2. The Canes lost to the number 9 Seminoles, however, 24-10 and dropped to number 7. They bounced back from there with wins over number 14 Pitt 24-3 and the number 1 Catholics 27-10. Miami entered the Sugar Bowl this time back up to a number 2 ranking, where they outlasted number 7 Alabama 33-25. The Hurricanes were again named consensus national champions, but actually had some good fortune to achieve it, as number 1 Colorado blew their chance with a 21-6 loss to Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl looking out for their own back then. This one is again 100% legit, and nobody else tries to claim it. 1990 wasn't bad, but it wasn't enough. Losses to BYU and Notre Dame left them wanting more for 1991. The team started out ranked number 3 and, well, never lost. Key wins included 40-10 over number 10 Houston, 26-20 over number 9 Penn State, 17-16 over number 1 Florida State, and 22-0 over number 11 Nebraska in, surprise, the Orange Bowl. The Hurricanes were named AP National Champions, but the coaches went with Washington. In the video containing Washington, I called the Huskies 100% legit. They beat that same Nebraska team ranked number 9 at the time, number 7 Cal, and number 4 Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Both teams also played Arizona, with Miami getting a 36-9 win and Washington dishing out a 54-0 crushing. The teams really seem super even on paper. This is just one of those cases you hate to see. 2 teams nearly an entire country apart, and they just weren't pitted against each other. I know bowl tie-ins were a hurdle and the main reason here, but come on, couldn't we have just had the two play in the Rose or Orange Bowl and let Michigan and Florida go at it elsewhere? Oh well. The 1991 team is 100% legit right alongside Washington. A shame we didn't get that game. Well, we now jump ahead to 2001, and I guess my initial memory was correct, as this entire list will be almost non-debatable. Oh, in case you didn't already know, the team I'm about to talk about is considered one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest team, in college football history. The 2000 team had come up just short after an early season loss to Washington, of all teams, left them number 2 at season's end. They would retain that number 2 ranking entering 2001, and it only got better from there. The Canes blasted most teams out of the water and beat ranked foes such as number 13 Florida State 49-27, number 15 Syracuse 59-0, number 11 Washington, hello again Huskies, 65-7, holy shit. Number 14 Virginia Tech 26-24, and finally a decisive corn on top of the sundae, beating number 4 Nebraska 37-14 in the Rose Bowl BCS title game. This is beyond 100% legit and would produce a record-setting 38 NFL draft picks and 13 first-team All-Americans. They were possibly the best team in 2002 as well, but the Buckeyes will have something to say about that when their video comes up. Well, 5 titles and virtually no debate about it. Sometimes it just goes that way, and it's honestly less fun, but oh well. Another school in the books. Lately in this series, I've been ending with my thoughts on if I think the team in question will be adding to the trophy case anytime soon, like within the next 5 to 10 years. I kind of see it. They did fall just short in 2025 after all. They proved they could navigate the playoffs from the 10 seed and put themselves right there. While losing their starting quarterback Carson Beck, they bring in the top class in the ACC according to 24/7 Sports, and the number 5 transfer class in the country. On top of all of that, and I don't mean to sound like a fan because I'm not, they seem to be making the U look somewhat cool again, or at least it seems like they have some swagger from days past back in their step. It is also a really good time to be on the rise with Clemson and Florida State knocked down. So I'm not guaranteeing it, but to give a definitive answer, yes, I could see Miami winning another national title in the next 10 to 15 years. They are going to continue bringing in the talent, and the fan base is coming back to life. And there we go. If you feel I was unfair or missed a piece of info, go ahead and make your case in the comments. Please go check out the other videos in this series. There is a playlist for them, and I just recently finished up all teams who claim 4 titles and some of the 5s. And remember, this is just one guy on YouTube who did some research and gave an opinion. I'm sure I won't change any fan base's opinion on the titles they choose to boast about, and certain fan bases have made that pretty clear thus far. This has been College Football Chronicles, and I hope you join me next time.